And I encourage people to think about it in a much deeper light, that it is a severing of a very central relationship. It was sort of a lifelong like struggle to connect with her in any meaningful way. So the backstory is, my mom, I'm one of three kids, and then there's a step sister much later on. My parents were divorced really early on, and I think my mother, the crux of it, really, really battled mental illness. She was diagnosed with something called borderline personality disorder, which is a very, very tricky disorder because people with that tend to crave connection until a certain point, and then like two magnets they reject. And the rejection sort of got stronger and stronger through childhood and as I became a young adult. And I would say really the breaking point, and I write about this very frankly, is that she did not like my husband. And if anybody met whenever I tell people that, they're floored because my husband is easily one of the most likable people you could encounter. And, ultimately it was sort of like I have to choose this man and this young family I have, or choose to participate in this toxicity that's coloring every part of my life. And so, you know, people I think on the outside looking in think estrangement is like a huff. It's like a tantrum. Like I've had enough. It's the adolescent door slam or the stomping up the stairs. And I encourage people to think about it in a much deeper light, that it is a severing of a very central relationship. It's not something people take lightly. It's not something I wanted. And I also sometimes have readers write to me whenever I share about it, like, how could you do that to her? And the truth is, it was mutual. It truly was mutual. And we were better off not in a regular consistent relationship. My mother was a very interesting person, very well read, very easy to engage with, but she just had this darkness. And by the end, the darkness really manifested as extreme paranoia. She was a shut-in by the end of her life. She never left her house. She was very, very unwell, very isolated, lived alone for decades. And witnessing her passing, and that was very messy. It sort of renewed my commitment to my son Jack. Not that it ever wavered, but because Jack's vulnerabilities as a person with autism present very similarly as my mother's. Paranoia, defensiveness, a tendency to push people away when you don't fully understand their motives. So somehow these two people in my world are deeply connected, even if I can't quite explain it.